Have you ever planted a piece of ginger root, watered it faithfully, and waited patiently, only to dig up a handful of sad, shriveled, thumb-sized knobs months later? It's a heartbreak every gardener knows. You did everything right, or so you thought. But ginger, our favorite spicy, aromatic friend, has a secret. It holds its cards close to its chest. And today, we're going to learn how to win the game. Welcome back to Roots and Friends. I'm so glad you're here. In this video, we're going to uncover the 10 things you absolutely need to know before you put that first piece of ginger in the ground. And I have to tell you, tip number 7 is the one that changed everything for me. It's the aha moment that transforms a so-so harvest into a pantry-full bounty. So, stick with me all the way to the end for that one. Here at Roots and Friends, we believe that gardening is more than just a hobby. It's a way of life. It's the quiet connection to the earth, the simple joy of watching a seed sprout, and the deep satisfaction of sharing a meal grown from your own 2 hands. Whether you're potting on a sunny balcony or tending a large backyard plot, you are part of this community. Pull up a trowel, make yourself a cup of tea, and let's grow together. Today we're focusing on a plant that feels a little bit like magic: ginger. Growing your own ginger is one of the most rewarding things you can do. The flavor of homegrown ginger is so much brighter, so much more alive than anything you can buy at the store. But it requires a little know-how. So, let's get started with our first tip. Tip number 1, start with the right root. This is where it all begins, and this is where many of us make our first mistake. You cannot just grab any old piece of ginger from the grocery store produce section and expect it to grow. Often, that ginger has been treated with a growth inhibitor to stop it from sprouting on the shelf. It is designed to look good on the store display, not to grow in your garden. For the best chance of success, you want organic ginger. Organic ginger is less likely to have been treated with these sprout inhibitors. When you are shopping, look for plump, firm pieces with vibrant, unblemished skin. You want pieces that feel heavy for their size, indicating they are full of moisture and life. Most importantly, you need to look for the eyes. These eyes look like small, pointed bumps at the tips of the fingers of the ginger root. They are the future shoots of your plant. If you can find a piece with several of these little eyes visible, you have hit the jackpot. That piece of ginger is ready and eager to grow. And here is a little community question for you. Have you ever tried growing ginger before? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear about your experiences, your successes, and even your learning moments. Sharing our gardening stories is how we all grow together. Tip number 2, the pre-planting soak. Once you have got your perfect ginger root, do not rush to put it in the soil just yet. Ginger can be a little stubborn about waking up. It has been dormant, and it needs gentle encouragement to start the growing process. To give it that gentle nudge, you should soak your ginger pieces in warm water for 24 to 48 hours. Find a bowl, fill it with lukewarm water, and place your ginger root in it. You might need to put a small plate on top to keep it submerged. This soaking process serves 2 important purposes. First, it helps to wash away any residual growth inhibitors that might still be on the skin. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it rehydrates the skin and tells the eyes that conditions are now right for growth. The eyes will plump up, and you might even see little white tips beginning to emerge by the end of the soak. If you are using a large hand of ginger, you can carefully cut it into smaller sections before soaking. Each section should be about 1 to 2 inches in size, and you must make sure each section has at least 1 or 2 of those eyes. If you do cut your ginger, let the cut pieces dry and callus over for a day before you put them in the water. This simple step prevents the open wounds from rotting when they are submerged. Tip number 3, the Goldilocks soil. Ginger is a tropical plant. To understand what it needs, you have to think about where it comes from. In its natural habitat, it grows on the forest floor in loose, rich, fluffy soil that is full of organic matter. Imagine walking through a tropical forest after a heavy rain. The ground beneath your feet is soft, dark, and spongy. That is the environment we are trying to recreate. Your ginger needs a home that holds moisture, but also drains perfectly. If the soil is too heavy, like dense clay, the roots will struggle to expand. The water will pool around the developing rhizome, and it will likely rot. If the soil is too sandy, it will drain too quickly and dry out, leaving your ginger stressed. So, What is the perfect recipe for this Goldilocks soil? Not too heavy and not too light. Aim for a mix that is light, airy, and rich. You can create this by combining 1 part good quality potting soil, 1 part rich compost, and 1 part perlite or coarse sand. The potting soil provides structure, the compost provides nutrients and helps with moisture retention. The perlite or sand ensures that excess water can drain away freely, preventing the dreaded root rot. This combination creates the light, airy environment that your ginger will absolutely love. Tip number 4. Shallow planting is key. This is another common mistake that many gardeners make. We are so used to burying seeds and bulbs deep into the soil that we often do the same thing with ginger, and that is a problem. Ginger is different. It wants to be close to the surface. You want to plant it shallow. Fill your pot or prepare your garden bed with your perfect soil mix. Then, take your soaked ginger piece and place it gently on top of the soil with the eyes pointing upwards towards the sky. Do not bury it deep. You then want to gently cover it with just 1 to 2 inches of your soil mix. That is all the depth it needs. Planting it too deep is a surefire way to delay growth significantly. The shoot has to spend all its energy just trying to reach the surface, and it may even rot before it gets there. By planting it shallow, you are giving those tender shoots an easy, short journey to the sunlight. They will emerge faster and stronger. Tip number 5, the sunlight sweet spot. If you remember one thing from this video, let it be this. Ginger is not a fan of full, blazing, direct sun. It thrives in dappled sunlight or partial shade. This is a critical point that many people get wrong. They treat ginger like tomatoes or peppers and put it in the sunniest spot. And then they wonder why the leaves turn brown and crispy. Remember where ginger grows naturally. In its native tropics, it lives on the forest floor, protected by the canopy of larger trees above. It receives filtered, dappled light, not the harsh, direct rays of the midday sun. Think of it like this. Morning sun is wonderful and gentle. It warms the plant without overwhelming it. But the harsh afternoon sun, especially in the middle of summer, is its enemy. Too much direct sun will scorch its beautiful, lush leaves. The leaves will turn yellow, then brown and crispy at the edges, and the plant will stop growing. If you are planting in a garden, find a spot that gets filtered light. A spot under a deciduous tree is often perfect. If you are growing in a pot, place it where it will be protected during the hottest part of the day. A north-facing or east-facing spot is often ideal. Tip number 6, watering wisdom, the steady sip. Ginger likes consistency. It is a plant that appreciates routine and stability. It does not want to be bone dry one day and soaking wet the next. It wants a steady, consistent supply of moisture. The key is to keep the soil consistently moist, like a wrung-out sponge. You want it to be damp to the touch, but you do not want water pooling on the surface. This is where your finger becomes your best gardening tool. Stick your finger into the soil about 1 inch or 2. If it feels dry at that depth, it is time to water. If it still feels moist, you can wait another day. And when you do water, you need to water deeply and gently. Imagine a soft, warm rain falling gently in a tropical forest. That is the feeling we are going for. Avoid using a harsh blast from a hose that can disturb the shallow roots. A watering can with a rose attachment is perfect for this task. It delivers a gentle rain-like shower that the plant loves. Inconsistent watering, where the soil goes from bone dry to soaking wet, will stress the plant. This stress can lead to tough, fibrous, and bitter ginger. Consistent moisture, on the other hand, leads to tender, flavorful rhizomes. And now, friends, we have arrived at the moment I promised you. This is tip number 7, the one that many gardeners overlook, and it is the secret to a truly massive harvest. Tip number 7, the magic of hilling up. This is the tip that so many gardeners overlook, and it is the secret to a truly abundant harvest. You see, the part of ginger that we eat is actually a rhizome, an underground stem. It is not a root, technically. As the plant grows, new rhizomes form on top of the old ones. They naturally want to grow upwards and outwards, pushing towards the surface of the soil. If you just leave them alone, they will eventually push themselves right up to the surface. They will become exposed to the sunlight. When this happens, the exposed skin turns green, like a potato does, and it makes the ginger taste bitter. More importantly, the trick to preventing this and to encouraging a huge harvest is a process called hilling up or earthing up. It is simple and incredibly effective. About 2 to 3 months into the growing season, when your plant is nice and bushy with several tall stalks, you are going to gently add more soil or compost around the base of the stems. You are essentially building a little mound around the plant. You are burying the base of the stems a little higher than they were before. By doing this, you are giving the new, developing rhizomes more room to expand. You are creating a dark, cozy, underground space for them to grow into. You are encouraging them to grow bigger, fatter, and longer. Throughout the growing season, keep an eye on your plants. Every time you see the knuckles or the tops of the ginger rhizomes starting to show above the soil, it is time to add another layer of soil, compost, or mulch. This one simple act of hilling up can easily double or even triple your final harvest. It is like giving your ginger an underground mansion instead of a tiny apartment. It gives them the space they need to truly thrive. Tip number 8, the forest floor blanket. This tip goes hand in hand with the last one. Mulch, mulch, and then mulch some more. A thick layer of organic mulch around your ginger plants is one of the best things you can do for them. Think again about that tropical forest floor. It is always covered with a thick layer of decomposing leaves and organic matter. This natural blanket does so many wonderful things, and replicating it with mulch will do the same for your ginger. First, a thick layer of organic mulch like straw, shredded leaves, or sugarcane mulch helps keep the soil consistently moist. It acts like a lid on a pot, preventing evaporation and meaning you have to water less often. Ginger loves this consistent moisture. Second, it suppresses weeds. Weeds compete with your ginger for water and nutrients. A thick layer of mulch blocks sunlight from reaching the soil, which prevents weed seeds from germinating. This means less work for you. Third, as the mulch slowly breaks down over the season, it feeds the soil. It adds organic matter and nutrients, mimicking that rich forest floor environment that ginger craves. And fourth, mulch helps keep the soil cool. It insulates the ground, protecting those precious shallow roots and developing rhizomes from temperature swings and the scorching summer heat. Aim for a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch around your plants, and your ginger will thank you. Tip number 9, the cheater's harvest. This is one of my absolute favorite things about growing ginger. You do not have to wait until the very end of the season to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You can practice what is lovingly called a cheater's harvest. Once your plant is well established, about 4 to 5 months into the growing season, you can carefully and gently begin to harvest small pieces without disturbing the main plant. Here is how you do it. Gently reach your fingers into the soil at the very edge of the pot or the mound. Feel around until you find the edge of the rhizome cluster. Then, with a gentle twisting motion, break off a small piece of the rhizome. Just 1 or 2 small knobs is plenty. Then, carefully cover the plant back up with soil and replace the mulch. The mother plant will be completely fine. It will hardly notice the small loss and will continue to grow and produce for the rest of the season. This way, you can enjoy fresh baby ginger all summer long. Baby ginger is a special treat. It has a much milder, less pungent flavor than mature ginger. It is so tender that it does not even need to be peeled. You can just rinse it, chop it up, and use it in stir-fries, salads, or steep it for a delicate tea. It is like the plant is giving you little gifts throughout the growing season. Tip number 10. Patience pays off, the signal to harvest. Knowing when to do your main harvest is just as important as knowing how to plant. Ginger takes its time to reach full maturity. You need to be patient and let it do its work. The plant will give you a clear and unmistakable signal when it is finally ready. In the late summer or early autumn, you will start to notice a change in your plant. The lush green leaves and tall, sturdy stems will begin to turn yellow. They will slowly lose their vibrant color and start to flop over and die back. This is not a sign of disease or a problem. This is the plant's natural way of telling you that its work for the season is done. All of its energy has been focused on growing that rhizome underground. And now that the growing season is ending, it is shutting down. Do not rush to harvest as soon as you see the first yellow leaf. Wait until the foliage has completely died back. Once the stems are brown and dry, it is time. Carefully dig up the entire plant, starting wide so you do not accidentally slice through your precious harvest. Gently lift the entire clump from the soil, and you will be rewarded with a beautiful, fragrant, and substantial cluster of ginger, far bigger and more impressive than what you planted months ago. It is a moment of pure gardening magic. From that one humble piece of root, you have just grown a season's worth of flavor. You can use it fresh in your cooking, grating it into curries and stir-fries for a burst of warmth. You can slice it and steep it in hot water with honey and lemon for a soothing tea that is perfect for a quiet afternoon. You can even save a few of the best, plumpest pieces to plant again next year, starting the beautiful cycle all over again. Think of all the meals you can create, the warmth you can share, the simple moments of peace you can enjoy, all because you took the time to understand this wonderful plant. A simple stir-fry becomes a celebration. A cup of tea becomes a moment of quiet gratitude. That is the true gift of growing your own food. Thank you for spending this time with me today in the garden. I hope these 10 tips help you grow the most amazing, abundant ginger you have ever seen. Remember, every great gardener started exactly where you are now. We learn, we try, we sometimes fail, and we always grow, right alongside our plants. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to Roots and Friends. We have a wonderful community growing here, and we would love for you to be a part of it. We share new tips, techniques, and garden journeys every week. Until next time, happy gardening, friends. Keep your hands in the soil and your heart in the garden.